minute or so, collect your thoughts, and then we can pull it back together. Shoot.
Yeah, what do you got? Does that sound the same as that? Say no so I can count it.
Like that in you, good job. Good job. Oh no, that's, I brought it up just for the colors.
She was Googling it. That's okay.
She was good. Awesome.
So I don't know if you knew this, but competition is an obstacle to create team. Hint, hint.
Not for me and Daniel, we work together
Hint,
well.
hint.
Yep.
He loves that I just got knocked out for that reason alone.
Yep. Teamwork, am I correct?
So the question then becomes, and let's just go down this, because what we want to do is identify whether these dynamics are more collectivistic versus individualistic for team or group. And so I'm going to start over here, because this was the section that was identified for collectivistic. Under planning, why is planning as a group so important?
More than one idea.
Okay, so you have some shared ideas. Okay, so will we say that that's a positive? All right, that makes me happy. Brainstorming, kind of funneling into the shared ideas, but it also helps identify some possible pitfalls, right?
Mm-hmm. Or better ideas.
And it also
Improving
can
on.
cultivate efficiencies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which then goes into taking action. With that, this one actually can be a positive and a negative. Because depending on where we are as a group or even as a team, some people might be further ahead than where everybody else is. We might not be sold on that brainstorming that we were doing. And somebody says, hey, you know what, that's a wonderful idea and I got a vision for it, let's go with this. And everybody's going, hey, wait, who's going to pay for this? And I'm not really clear on all the details. And they're like, no, we got to go right now because this is great. It's almost like the invention of the iPod. I got an idea, let's run with it. Whereas the person that was still working with the BlackBerry was like, can we take a time out of that?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, can we do that? All right.
Can you fix my Z? My S? On organizing?
Okay.
Sorry.
It probably wasn't any bad, but it's okay. When it comes down to the organization of, can you talk a little bit more what you were thinking of when we were talking about organizing?
Well, for me, organization would be deciding like what materials you need, you know, kind of just putting all of our thoughts into the next step. So it would be, yeah.
Okay. So I'm categorizing that as the next steps or a layout. And could that be considered a positive or a negative?
Assigning?
No, organizing.
For organizing, yeah. Can that be a positive or a negative?
I would think it's
To me, it's a
positive.
positive.
Some people may see it as negative, but it's, I would say it's probably like the conflict of attitudes. But it's still like, it has a positive like effect on the group or team.
Difference of
Okay.
opinion on
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
Because it's saying who's going to do what, where, why, that whole nine, and it's giving purpose, right? And that goes, and it funnels right into literally the assigning, the working, all of these really go right back into the taking actions. The voting, that's a process of where are we getting to. That really infers that we are being very, very democratic with the approach group to team. Whereas sometimes, even in the team, they might go, hey, look, that's the boss. They get to make the call. And that's just how it is. As Megan had said, sometimes we just give it away just by virtue of people's titles. But understand this, every member of the team has influence. Every member of the team has value. Every member of the group, it's the same difference. Communication, this is huge. Because this is the monkey wrench. Because when things don't go right, what's the first thing they say? Well, we can do better. We can communicate a lot better next time. Okay, what does that look like? And who's responsible for making sure that that happens?
Everybody in the group.
Absolutely, absolutely. When it comes down to listening, I'm going to challenge, what kind of listening are we talking about?
Basically listening to other people's, maybe it should be open-minded, because just listening to what others are saying rather than trying to preform those ideas in our head.
Okay. All right. So we're trying to be more in that active standpoint, being in the present here and now of what are you saying? How am I interpreting what you're saying? And then what is that call to action to actually demonstrate the feedback that I actually heard you? That makes sense? Okay, very good. From an individual standpoint, we talked about time management, taking some personal responsibility. That's something that each individual can bring to both the group and the team. Then we also have getting your part of the work done. So that personal responsibility of, if I say I'm going to do something, I need to actually follow through with it. But then we also need to talk about, hey, when do we ask for help? Oh, wait, right here. Ask for help from our teammates, because yes, there are situations and time frames where yes, we really do need some assistance from other people, but if we're not able to put ourselves in that mindset of, hey, how does this benefit or negatively impact the group and or the team, this may keep us from asking for help. And then step up. Talk to me about the step up component, because I've heard that a lot on this college campus.
Okay, so it's not necessary to be like inside of the team. It might be just like in your daily routine. Like if you see something happening, you can just step up and like. It's not necessary has to be like something bad happening. No, like you can just like walk on campus and see, for example, one of your residents carrying like 20 bags of like groceries and stuff. You can just like offer your help like to carry them.
Absolutely.
So like just like I would think like step up is just like this like slang marketing thing for volunteering
Okay.
kind of thing. Like volunteering on more professional level maybe.
Okay.
And
No.
don't sit back. Don't sit back and wait for an invitation.
Yeah. So
You decide on your own to
just
do that.
just go.
And then last but not least, I love how you say stay optimistic.
I love that.
Everything that you do, you have to choose your attitude. And this is a great way of, when we're talking about group to team, the success of the team always goes back to how positive they actually see themselves, how truly and honestly they are vested in that vision and that mission of what they are trying to do. With that being said, thank you all so much for participating with this. I'm going to turn it back over to the awesome Megan. Let's go.
Whoa! All right, so there's one last thing I want to leave you with, okay? And I'm going to read this so I don't mess this up. So I want you to ask yourself, does what I'm thinking, saying, or doing propel me into a group, or does it elevate me and the people around me into a team? So every time you're meeting with your student club, anybody, whether it's your personal life, it can be your relationships, group or team has an effect there, okay? So just be thinking about that. Does it keep you at group, or is what you're thinking, saying, doing going to help elevate you to team? Any questions? Cool. Well, thanks for coming.
Did you ever see the sign I put on the cabinet in our office? No, it's part of it, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it does say something about the difference between a group and a team,
Yeah.
is how a team are people who trust each other. A group is a bunch of people who work together. So
That's right.
the difference
There's
is
a lot of
there has to be trust to be a team.
That's right.